Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Boss Talks. I'm Christine Drummond and I'm here in Perth today, and my co-host Joel Lord is back in Queensland, and we are going to bring you another epic episode today. And today's topic is all about knowing what you want is the first step in getting what you want. And we talk about this on the start of every show that we don't charge a fee for this call. There's no cost to listening to our podcast. But what we do ask is that if you get value from it, that you share it. That's the only fee that we ask from you, is that you share this information, because there's a lot of people out there paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for the information that we give away for free. So we want more people to be able to get this information. So if you can share that, that would be absolutely amazing. But what we're finding out there is there's a gap between, like, people talk the talk about what they do want, and then they don't take the action necessary. But a lot of people out there don't actually know what it is that they actually want in life. So the first step is getting crystal clear on what it is that you actually want. And I'll give you an example, and why the reason I'm in Perth this weekend is because last year in my life's mission statement, I added in that I would love to speak on stage in every capital city. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I had no idea when it was going to happen. It just went into my mission statement. And within a few weeks, some beautiful friends of mine that I know rang me and said, Christine, we would love you to come and speak on stage in Perth at one of our events. Would you be open to doing that? And I was like, yeah, that would be amazing, because I kept thinking, how am I going to get over to Perth? How am I going to speak on a stage in Perth? And then this opportunity opened up because I had the clear intention of what I wanted. And if we do that, guys, opportunities open up all the time. And then from that, I started to think, okay, well, I've spoken in most of the capital cities. Once I've done Perth, I've spoken in most of the capital cities now, but there's a couple that I haven't, like Darwin and Tasmania. How can I get to speak on those ones? And then I came up with this crazy idea that, Joel and I would tour around Australia. We'd put an event on in every capital city. We'd also do a charity event in every capital city. And it just grew from there. So now this year, that goal of mine, that intention, that desire that I had is now becoming a reality, because I first had the thought, then I had the idea, then I thought, how cool would that be? I attached the emotion to it, which led to the inspired action and the opportunities opening up, which now have led to the results. And tomorrow I get to stand on stage and speak in front of, hundreds of people. And it's amazing how that works. But I find that people are missing these opportunities every single day because their eyes are closed to them, because they're not crystal clear on what it is that they actually want. And guys, when you figure that out, like, what is it that you actually want in life? Is it to stay in that job that you're in? Is it to stay in that relationship you're in? Is it to stay in that business that is failing that you're in? What is it that you actually want? What do you actually want to do with your life? And when you find that out, then that's the first step in getting what you want in life. So, Joel, there's the opening. What have you got to add in here?
Well, it's like fantastic that you've been able to get over to Perth safely, and I think that you're in the most amazing weather. We've actually got amazing weather over here today in the Gold Coast finally. Had tons of rain. So, yeah, I'm excited for you, and congratulations for getting on stage. I know you love it there. It's like your second home, isn't it? So, listen, like, if you don't know what you want, how will you know when it's standing right in front of you? If you aren't clear on what you want, then, like, say I want a car. Well, you got to get specific, and you got to chunk down. You got to get really specific on, do you want a red car? Do you want a Daewoo, or do you want a Ford, or do you want a Ferrari? Do you want a do you want a manual or an automatic? Do you want one with a sunroof? Do you want all these things? So if you can get like that example, like once you get really clear, well, then you can actually set about a plan about acquiring what it is that you want. So, but if I just want a car, well, then you could go in a million different directions and you're never going to get the one you want. So just like it takes a bit of work. And I come back to this like nearly every podcast, that people just either through feeling that they're not worthy of their goals and dreams, which is the biggest crock of BS I've ever heard. You are all worthy of your hopes, goals, dreams, wishes, desires. It's your birthright, but you got to go after it. You're not worthy of it if you just sit down on your backside and don't do any work. It's like no one's going to open the door and come into your lounge room and save you. So you got to take action. You got to be willing to do the work. And, if you want that Ferrari or that house or that girlfriend or boyfriend, or you want that house on the Gold Coast, or you want that holiday, get specific. Like Christine is going to get a house on the Gold Coast because she knows specifically down to the address where it is. She's clear. And why do you think she's speaking on stage? The other part that adds to that, like, of course she loves it. She's going to get paid, and it's going to help her buy a house. It's going to help her get influence. It's going to help her meet people. Like, you never know who you're going to meet in one of those rooms. Like, she might inspire someone. She might do a business deal with someone in there that could completely change your life. And it's not going to be because she's unclear on what she's doing. She knows exactly what she wants and she's going after it. It's not happening in her lounge room, and that's the biggest thing. And so it's like, find a way to believe you're worthy of the money it's going to take to do these things. Find a way to believe that you're worthy of the girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife or whatever it is that you're going after, or the car, it's all there. And for God's sake, don't let anyone else's contextual beliefs or opinions tell you that it's bad. If you want a big car or a nice car, don't worry that someone thinks that you're compensating for something or something like that. I don't know. Or, it's crazy. Or you want a big house, or you want the big holiday, or maybe you want the partner of your dreams. Like, everyone's going to have an opinion. You just got to get rid of that. So yeah, be totally clear. And what do you think? Like, has that brought anything up for you? I just did the Christine cheerleading squad then.
It has brought me up, brought something up, and it's what you said about it's your birthright. And I think people forget that when you're born, you're not born with fears and concerns about what people are going to think. You look at your children; they're not worried about what people are thinking. They're just getting on with it. They're living in the present. They're not depressed living in the past. They're not anxious about the future. They're in the present. They're being their fun little happy beings, and that's what you guys need to start doing as well. And I feel like we lose that as we get older. It's beaten out of us, through the systems that we participate in. But like, it is our birthright to go back to dream like a child again. To make these dreams as big, as bold, as silly, as courageous as we want. And we can only do that through really connecting with source, the universe, whatever, and finding out what it is that we actually want. What's gonna light us up. And I really feel like, Joel, like, people chase happiness, and I don't like that term. Oh, you got to chase happiness. I don't think you need to chase happiness at all. I feel like there's a shortcut to fulfillment, and I really feel like that's what people should be looking for, is fulfillment and living more blissfully. And we know that when you're in a blissful state, you're very awakened, you're very conscious. But so many people are not living in a blissful state. They're burnt out, they're overwhelmed, they're tired, they're stressed, and they have no idea like what's going to happen in the next 5 months, let alone the next 5 years. They got no direction, no goals, no aspirations. So for me, we've got to get back to connect, which is ourselves. When you're connected to the one, you'll start attracting the many. Now, the shortcut to fulfillment is when you stop making it about yourself. You start making it about other people. And I've got another story here, Joel. 2 days ago, someone was posting on social media that they're a bad place. Their health was not great. Their mental health was not great. And instead of just doing the whole, oh, poor you comment and hope you feel better soon, I thought, you know what, I'll pick up the phone, I'll have a chat to this chick. And I picked it up. We chatted for about 30 minutes. And I was sort of saying to her, you can change your physiology, your mental state as quick as a click of a finger. I've seen it done. I've seen Tony Robbins do it before to people that are in these massive depressive states. And I was sort of just talking around this for a little bit. And then I asked her, what is it that she actually wants? And she said, you know what, I've always wanted to write a children's book. I was like, great, that's awesome. Tell me the idea of it. And she started telling me the idea about it. It's an incredible concept, amazing message. And she's a creative person. So I knew that she'd be able to do illustrations and stuff like that. Anyway, we got talking, we bounced a few ideas off each other. That call was in the afternoon, and by the end of that day, she had kids already illustrated the cover page. And I said to her, how are you feeling right now? And she said, I feel happy. During our 30-minute call, this lady was depressed. And now at the end of the day, she's all of a sudden happy. She said, I feel productive and I feel inspired. Now, that's because she took the focus off herself. She made it all about the kids, that she was going to be able to change their lives, get them to think differently just by simply reading her book. She made it all about her message and the legacy and serving the kids. And her health, the challenges she was having with her health, the depression, everything, it disappeared that day. She was in her flow. Now she has since sent me photos of the pages, so the illustrated pages for the book. And this is what we talk about all the time, Joel. You have the thought, you have the idea, you attach the emotion, you take the inspired action, and you get the results. And 2 days after speaking to that lady, to see that her book is nearly finished and all she has to do is finish off the illustrations, it lights me up. It sets my soul on fire. And it is proof that getting clear on what you want is the first step in getting what you want. Yeah. Now, is she going to have a hard time trying to get this published and get someone to back it and print it? Absolutely. It's just part of the journey. But she is very clear now and she's taken the inspired action. So it's only now a matter of time before the event of this book launching catches up to her. And I love it when people implement what they learn, and speed of implementation is so crucial to getting what you want as well. And I have no doubt that opportunities are now going to open up for this woman because she's taken the inspired action, she's done the work, and now it's only a matter of time before things start opening up for her now. Now, she could revert back and go back into her depressive state, absolutely, but that's not serving anybody when you play there. You are playing really small and you are letting your past have your power. And we don't want that for you guys. We don't want that for our listeners. We want you guys to be able to step into your power, dictate your destiny, and yes, the goalposts move now and then. That's okay. But we want you to get clear on what it is that you actually want. And Joel beautifully mentioned a few examples of how to do that. And I want to flip it back to you, Joel, because you've done this. You've been in the trenches where you found yourself in a position working at a tip where it wasn't where you wanted. You were just basically doing what needed to be done, but you never lost sight of the vision of where you wanted to be. And that was crucial in getting you out of that position, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I remember getting criticized about it. Like, it's a pretty big fall from grace, like to be an entrepreneur with a successful business in a town, and then all of a sudden you're actually moving the garbage for your employees that you used to employ. And then, there was a day where a couple of people from school, which like luckily I didn't give two craps about, but like they came in and gave me crap. Like, aren't you meant to be some successful guy? Like, I thought you were some successful guy. And I'm like, well, yeah, that is true. It's like I couldn't argue with it, but it gave me the fuel to keep going. And I know that there could have been a time and a place where I would have let that get to me, although it just fired me up even more. I was like, wow, if I ever needed another reason, like to push back, then to to go for it, then that was it. So look, when you find out what it is that you want, and look, this could come from journaling. It could be just like really just blocking out all the noise, getting away from people, sitting down and actually just going, hang on a minute. There's no one else on the planet and I didn't have to worry about anyone. I had no responsibilities. What would I actually be doing? Well, I would be doing podcasting. I would be doing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now. I bet you Christine would be speaking on stages all across Australia. I bet you we'd be helping people like raise their consciousness and make more money and have more joy in their life and more bliss in their life. Like, we weren't always like this. That's why we're sharing it with you. We're sharing because I certainly remember decades of doing stuff that I didn't want to do. There was plenty of that. Now, I'm not saying that, hey, throw out everything that you that you don't want to do. Like, you need to do some stuff that you're not always going to want to show up every day and do a podcast. You're not always going to want to show up every day and reach out to people that are your clients. And you're not always going to want to turn that chicken oven on in the supermarket and do, like, if you work in one of those, you're not always going to want to go to your job. Just think of it like it's a means to an ends. And there's some times that you got to do those things. Now, I love what Christine brought up. It's not going to be easy. That word easy is thrown around. My goodness, one of the reasons why I do this podcast and why I have a coaching business is because I want to change the narrative on what so many people are out there selling you. Like the $9.97 program that's going to easily make you a millionaire. It's such crap. There's no magical system that's going to get you there. It's going to take work. Like that lady, like, congratulations to her. She's written a book. Like, Keurig Ashley wrote 4 books before he released one. And it became an international bestseller. So it was worth it, right? But when you find out what it is that you want, you got to ask for what you want. You actually got to ask. Whether it's the universe or the person, like Christine she wanted me to come on a crazy maniac tour with her. I wasn't just going to walk in and turn up at the capital city. She had to ask. People that join our business and join our coaching business or come to our seminars, we've got to ask them. So be it the universe, you're asking for money or like a house or, more joy in your life or whatever it is, you got to ask, because everything that you want is found in the pockets of strangers. You must understand that. And if you don't ask for what you want, you're never going to get it. And the second step is you must be totally cool with people saying no. They're not saying that no because they hate you or because you're ugly or because you smell or any other crazy reason that monkey mind in your head is telling you. Like, don't have a fear of rejection. Ask for what you want. Ask for an upgrade into business class. The worst the attendant's going to say is no. Ask for the special edition sunroof in your car just thrown in, or the mats, or the full tank of petrol, or ask for a discount on your coffee when you go to get your coffee next time. The worst they're going to say is no. They might give you one the way that most people drink coffee. Like, I know they would give me one because I'm probably put the kids through college. Well, I used to anyway. I'm doing this 75 hard, so there's no caffeine, but you get the point. So ask for what it is that you want and be okay with people telling you no, and just keep asking until someone says yes, because someone will say yes. That is the law of averages. It's the numbers game. It's the truth. Someone's going to be looking for what you have to offer and will help you out. So just go for it. And I guess to finish this little section is, like, I want to share where you were saying about happiness, Christine, is like one of the things that my coach taught me, and I can still remember. It's like one of those things where you remember where you were the day that you heard this. And like, he taught me that happiness doesn't come from external sources. It comes from within. And I know that sounds like really maybe Buddhist or New Agey or rah-rah. And it's the truth. It is so the truth. If you are allowing external forces, whether you have a big house or whether you have the job that you want, or whether like what your weight is or whatever it is, allow you to consistently be unhappy, then you're letting, or your partner or something like that outside of you, dictate your happiness, then you are totally at effect. You have no power in that to do anything about it. And your brain is just sitting there idle going, okay, well, this is just the way it is. And you're never going to find happiness. So that's when people fall into depression. That's when people fall into all this other stuff that's negative, that just has, we've been through it before. It creates stress on your body. It creates all these terrible things that happen to you and probably shortens your life, and probably is a really short life in years, but it really feels like a long life because it's just so shitty, you know? So what do? You got to understand that, like what Christine was saying before was state, and, you know, you can change your state in the click of a finger. You've just got, there's plenty of strategies out there. You've heard it on our podcast. We've shared them before, you know, go running, exercise, eat better, self-talk, and, you know, your posture, everything like that. Change all that, and you can change your state in seconds. And when you can find happiness from within, that means nothing can be held over your head. Like, I mean, nothing. You will be happy whether you've got $1 million, $10 million, or 10 cents in your bank account. Because it's not, your happiness isn't dictated by something outside of you. You know, you're going to be happy like no matter what. And if you can get to that stage, like someone could come in, and I hope this never happens to you, myself, or anyone, but someone could come in and like do something totally devastating. They could take your house off you. You could lose all your money. And people that aren't trained in mindfulness and that don't find happiness from within would be completely devastated. It'd be over for them. They could wallow like in self-pity for the rest of their freaking life, all because they are not allowing happiness to come from within. But if you have happiness coming from within, then you're invincible. No one can do anything to you that, like, yes, short-term stuff. You know, you're going to get cranky if someone maybe cuts you off in traffic. I don't know. I don't do that anymore, but I used to. But if something happened, if you did lose all your money, you might be cranky for such a short amount of time. But overall, you're never going to lose the war, because you can just go, all right, well, done it once, I can do it again. I'm not going to let this affect my happiness. So that's it. Like, action is going to cure your fear. If you're not doing what you want, it's because you're frightened of what someone else is going to say, or some BS in your head. There's a fear there. And action is going to cure that fear. This lady that Christine is talking about, I've never met her. I don't know who she is. I wish her the best. I hope she has I hope she makes $1 billion from best-selling children's books. Like, she was feeling depressed. She took action, and mysteriously now she's not depressed. You know, she found happiness. Is there going to be challenges? Yes, there is. Well, guess what? Fulfillment and happiness is found within the overcoming of adversity and challenges. Humans thrive on challenges. Trees that have strong winds blowing against them are much stronger than the trees that are sheltered. Just know that. It's part of the universe. It's a universal law. Challenges create growth, and growth is where happiness is found. And if you want to grow at something, you might as well grow at something that you want. So get clear about what you want. Go take all the action. And can you see how this journey on this podcast today, you've just been given a strategy to freaking win. Like, Christine has just given you gold. We've given you strategies. Like, just re-listen to this one 10 times, because we're giving you the strategy. If you aren't getting what you want and you're not clear on what you want, the strategies are here. So Christine, I don't know, this is pretty straightforward, right?
It is straightforward, but then you've got the people out there, Joel, that say, but I don't know what I want. I'm struggling to find what it is that I actually want. And what I say to you guys is, try new things. Start getting out of the house and trying new things. Meet new people. Research new things. Watch documentaries. Immerse yourself. Fill your body, your mind with different thoughts, different processes, different ideas, and then that's going to give you inspiration for what you want. Okay? And, so often I see people that focus on what it is that they don't want. And usually when we say to people, what do you want? They'll give us a whole list of things that they don't want. Now, if you keep focusing on what you don't want, and that's where your focus goes, that's where your energy flows, and that's what you're going to attract, more of the things that you don't want. And I'll give you a really simple example of this. You know, our son was getting out of bed every single night. Like, you put him down and he would get out every single night. And we kept focusing on what we didn't want. We don't want him to get out of bed. We don't want this. We don't, don't. And the more that we focused on his behavior and the getting out of the bed and how inconvenient it was and how it was making us feel, the more we got it. But when we flipped our thought process to, well, actually what we do want is we want to put a happy little boy to bed where we feel connected, where he feels loved. His love language is physical touch. So now we've come up with a bedtime routine where he feels loved physically, mentally, spiritually from us. And that then puts him at ease where he doesn't feel like he needs to come out of bed 100 times anymore. You know, I'm not having to lock him out of the house, which is what I was doing. But now it's more harmonious because we just switched our thinking to what it was that we actually wanted from this situation. And I got sick of feeling horrible and that heavy feeling of having to rouse on him every night because he was getting out of bed. And we don't like to use the N word in our house, naughty. We don't call him naughty and stop being naughty, because then they start taking on that characteristic. They start taking on that trait and they start to live under that name, right? So you've got to be really careful if you're a parent around the verbiage that you use. So it's really hard when they are being naughty and you want to call them naughty and you can't. So, you know, even just little things like that, guys, like people, if you're working in a toxic environment and, you know, you are sick of the way that people are acting in your workspace, well, then stop focusing on that. Stop focusing on their behavior, because you don't have control over that. What you've got control of is how you show up, and you've got control of how you direct your focus, your energy. So focus on what it is that you do want. Do you want a more harmonious workplace? Great. How are you going to show up in a more harmonious way? Yeah. And then people will feel that energy and that will be reflected and the ripple effect will happen. You know, everything in the world is just energy, you know, and I see so many people out there, Joel, that they want something at a higher frequency, but their whole energy is, there's a massive gap, you know, between where they're vibrating and the frequency they want to tune in to get this thing, right? Whether it's a promotion, whether it's a new car, a house, a partner, whatever. So what you guys need to do is your energy and your action need to be aligned to tune into the frequency that you need to tune into to get what you want. And if you can do that, then it's only a matter of time before you get it. And I know this might sound woo-woo, wah-wah to some people, but this is how the universe works. There's universal laws, and this is how it works. And the universe wants to give you everything you want. It's conspiring to give you everything you want. You guys just need to believe in the unseen. You need to believe in the not yet happened. And just because you haven't achieved something yet doesn't mean it can't happen. Just because you haven't had something before doesn't mean you can't have it. Everything you need and want is already available. You just need to believe that it's available to you. Okay, so you're going to have to change and challenge your thought processes. Your belief systems are not your belief systems. Your belief systems have been passed down from generation to generation to generation, and you've never challenged them. And on this podcast today, we're challenging your belief system. We're challenging your thought process. We're asking you to expand them. We're asking you to listen to different things, to watch different things, to immerse yourself in different communities, different cultures, because opportunity comes from those places. Inspiration comes from those places, and it'll only be a matter of time before you find out, you figure out what it is that you want. You'll have a conversation with someone and they'll tell you what they're working on, what they just received, and you go, that's interesting. I'd love to know that. I'd love to be able to have that as well. So you've got to put yourselves in these environments, guys, and that's going to help you figure out what it is you actually want. That's it from me, Joel.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, Christine, because, you know, I can tell you one thing, one way, a strategy, exactly how to not get what you want. And that's to sit on your backside at home, procrastinating on not knowing what it is that you want. You're not going to find it doing nothing. So if you don't know what it is that you want, go out and join the tennis club, then join the bowling club, then like the 10-pin bowling. I don't mean the one where you drink yourself silly. Some people might already be doing that. I don't know. Go rock climbing. Go join a real estate club. Go join a computer programming course. Go join a network marketing company. Go meet people that are out there doing epic shit. Not people that are just sitting down watching Netflix. Don't join the Netflix club. I'm not saying don't watch Netflix. I'm just saying don't only watch Netflix. So go out and test and try things, and the things that don't interest you will fall away. They'll disappear. You won't even realize that they're going. And the things that are left over are the things that you've been called to do. And that's where the work comes in. Like when I say hard work, I don't mean digging holes 24 hours a day or building the railroads for your entire life and backbreaking work. I got respect for people that do that. I just don't think you need to do that if you don't want to. What I do mean is it takes the work to show up, to raise that vibration. It's not easy to get on that high vibe when things feel like they're weighing you down. It's hard to do that. That's the hard work. The hard work is managing your state when you're putting down the deposit on going to Tony Robbins or going and signing up for a year's worth of coaching with someone that can help you. That's hard work when you don't have the money to do it, or it's going to be challenging. It's going to put stress on you, or going and showing up to the gym when you are the most overweight person there. That's hard work, but it's worth it. That's where overcoming those challenges it's where it's going to come in. That's where it's all worth it. So, if you're working at like a job that you don't like, look for the silver lining. Like I dug holes before I went to the tip, and I was digging holes in cow paddocks that used to be cow paddocks that were disgusting. And I was in water up over my boots half the time, and I had clay. Well, it probably wasn't clay. It was probably something else. And the guy that I was working for goes, "Oh my God," he's apologizing. He's like, "Dude, it's going to be a bad one today. There's flies everywhere. There's like all this stuff. It's so gross." And he's like, "Man, I'm going to have to ask you to jump down in there on your hands and knees and get in all that water and pull the cable through." As I was doing stuff for the power companies. And I was like, "Yep, no worries." I just jumped straight down. He's like, "I can't believe it. How are you so positive all the time?" And I was like, he's like, "You're digging, you've got calluses on your hands are bleeding, all this stuff's happening." I was like, "Dude, this is just like a gym workout. I'm saving money on the gym now." He's like, "Wow, what a way to look at life." And I was like, "Well, think about it logically. There's no upside to looking at the negative in it. I had to work to pay the mortgage at that time, but I wasn't staying there. I'd already decided I was moving on. He knew it. I told him as soon as I started the job, I wasn't going to be there for long." And I appreciated him, and he appreciated me, and it's probably his hardest worker ever, but that's it. And now we're here, and it's taken 4 years to get to where I am from then. What if it took you 4 years? Would it be worth it? Because if I hadn't done it, I'd still be digging holes, and I might be digging holes for the next 20, 30 years. And that's you right now listening to this. I can guarantee you that if you worked with us, we could show you that you're only using 10% of your ability right now. I can guarantee it. That's why I pay a coach, because he helps me just when I think I'm getting in my comfort zone. I've got it all worked out. He's like, "What about this?" And he gets me thinking bigger. So guys, just get clear on what you want and go after it. It's not worth waiting. It's not worth giving up your entire life for shit you hate and not having what you want just because you're frightened or whatever else is there. Just go after it. So that's it from me, Christine. What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolute gold, buddy. And I love that story. Sounds disgusting, but it's how you turn up. How you show up to anything is how you show up to everything. And I truly believe that. And yeah, if we change our mental state to a winning one, to a more positive one, it's just amazing what opens up for us. So Great podcast. Congratulations for listening all the way through. Joel, you absolutely nailed it again. We'll see you guys again on the next one.
Damn. Yeah.